right, so I mentioned in my last video that I recorded yesterday on Friday that I would have, well, I should say recorded yesterday, posted finally today. I've been getting a little lazy since I don't have any TTM successes here the last few days, which is weird. But I mentioned there that I've got a box I'm going to break. So here it is. A little background on it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite products that has ever been made. I bought a box of it 18 years ago, almost exactly 18 years, because I would have gotten it probably in the summer of 2002. And it was the first time I'd ever really had the thought to possibly try to get a complete set signed, and I'm glad I didn't, because this would have been evidence of hobby masochism on my part. But go ahead and show it off before we open it up. 2002 Upper Deck 40-man. Now, I've probably mentioned, I don't know if I've mentioned on any videos at all, but I know I've mentioned on things I've written for Sports Card Forum and other places that I love big sets. I grew up on 1991 as my first year as a collector, and that year you had Score was over 800 cards in their set. Topps had their usual 792. I believe Donruss may have been even over 700 that year. I know there were at least 660. Fleer, of course, was 660. Upper Deck, I think, was into the 800s. So I grew up on the era where everybody, if you were on a roster, you got a card. I mean, if you factor in Topps, 792 cards, take out, what, 6 checklist cards. I think they had 20-some all-star cards, maybe like 7 record breakers or thereabouts. You're still averaging approximately somewhere between 28 and 30 players per team getting into that set. So you're getting your entire 25-man roster plus 5 prospects in there. So you're getting a little bit of, you're getting everybody in there having a card. By the time we got into the mid-90s, I think there were, God, how many was it? We were down to less than 500 cards on a lot of the late 90s Topps releases there. After the strike and before kind of a mini renaissance around the early 2000s or so, you had several sets that were under 500 cards. And so many players got like 3 and 4 cards in there. Go back to like 1991 Topps, you had, I think a couple guys may have gotten 3 cards in there because they were on like a record breaker card and an all-star card plus their base card. Bobby Thigpen is one that I can think of who was on all 3 of those. I think Ryan Sandberg might have been the other one. Cal Ripken Jr. is one of those 2, maybe even both of them. I don't know, but at the very least, I know Bobby Thigpen had 3 cards in there. Which, I mean, if you're a fan of some big-name guy, hey, that's great for you if you're a player collector. I mean, how many of those early 90s Topps sets and early 2000s, mid-2000s Topps sets had, 7 different cards of Derek Jeter in there? If you're a Jeter collector, hey, that is awesome. If you're somebody like me who's out trying to get as much signed as I can, that's a nightmare, because you're not even going to get 1 Jeter card most of the time, much less 7 signed. So that's why I really liked Upper Deck 40-man. They tried to go out and do the entire 40-man roster for all 30 teams at that point. And I think they came out to, it ended up averaging about 33, 34 players per team in there. But hey, that meant that everybody on a 25-man roster got represented, a lot of prospects. They didn't do a manager card the way the Topps would. So you'd have even more players, and because of that, no team cards taking up space. They did some inserts, or not inserts, I guess some subsets that are later on that kind of doubled and tripled up a few players. But for the most part, if you just want to focus on the base there, you just do those first, God, how many was it? Like I said, 8 or 900 some cards in there. Let's see, it'd been about, 990 maybe. I can't remember. I did the math the other day, and then I forgot to write it down and keep it with me. But it still, I believe, is the biggest single series set ever made. They may have broken it like their 2003 set or so, but I mean, it mentions right here on the 2002 box as the industry's biggest single series set ever. And so that's kind of really cool to be able to see that. And so I opened a box of it back in 2002, got some cool stuff in there, got a few of them signed. I think like once you factor in all those subsets, you're dealing with, I think, 1,300 cards, something like that. And I've gotten 13 of them signed. That's about 1% of the set. So I haven't really gotten that far on that theorized goal that I had back 18 years ago. But yeah, I didn't really follow through on that. But I figured, all right, you know what? Let's go and see if we can grab a box somewhere. So I found one on eBay. $60, I think, was the price on that, including shipping. Had to jump through some hoops to be able to get it today from the USPS. They delivered the key to the side box to the wrong mailbox. But fortunately, after a call, I got it figured out. So let's go ahead and do a little break on this. Quick thing, if you didn't see the front of it there, it is 10 cards per pack, 24 cards per box. Find exclusive autographed Mark McGwire buyback cards. Look for hobby-exclusive game jersey cards inserted at an average of 1 per box. Now, that box I opened 18 years ago, I got 2 jersey cards in there, so I was clearly very happy with that. I believe it was a Hideo Nomo and who was the other one? Jorge Posada. I think I've traded away the Posada. I can't remember now if I did or not, but I still have that Nomo one somewhere in there. So, but yeah, I mean, just looking at the odds on the back of this, the looming large jerseys, number to 250, gold ones, number to 40. Super Swatch jerseys number to 250, the gold ones number to 40. Upper Deck 40-man electric, one in every 4 packs. Upper Deck 40-man electric rainbow, hobby only, number to 40. Mark McGwire flashbacks, 1 in 24, so we should get one of those in this box. And Mark McGwire autographed buybacks, about 220 total cards, so not a very good chance of pulling one of those. Lumberyard wood cards, 1 in every 168 packs. If you do the math on that, that's every... Math I don't feel like doing. You can figure it out, though. And so, there we go. It says, packs may contain autograph redemption cards. Ooh, hope not. I don't think Upper Deck's going to really do anything with a 18-year-old redemption card if that's what I end up pulling from here. So, let's see what we got. Still had the wrap on it. Still had the little seal thing there. There we go. Go ahead and break on into this. All right, we're going to start down the left column. It's 3 columns each of 8 packs, it appears. Go down the left one, then the middle one, then the right one. Let's see what we come up with. So pack number 1, I'll show you the pack real quick there as well. King Griffey Jr. on that as well. Probably saw he was also on the front of the box. All right. One of the things I really like about this set, too, was it really bucked the trend of super glossy cards. Stuff really started kind of in the early 90s when you had, like, super premium brands coming out, Fleer Ultra, Top Stadium Club, Pinnacle, anything like that. And it made it really hard to get cards autographed sometimes, because if you didn't prep the card beforehand, the signature would bubble up on it. Over time, that's gotten a lot better. You don't really have to prep those early 90s ones so much. I don't know if the aging of the gloss kind of helps it to accept the ink better, or if ink technology has gotten better over the years. But either way, it was around 1996 that Fleer did a totally matte finish set, and that was one of the things they put out there with it to help promote it, was it was great for getting autographs. And so clearly 1996 Fleer was a product I bought a ton of. Even though I wasn't doing a whole lot with autographs, I kind of always had in my mind that I was going to start and then never got around to it, and kind of story of my life on a lot of things. But eventually it's paid off now, because here we are, what, 25 years later, and getting a whole lot of those signed over the time. So, as we said, let's go into this pack here. First up, we have pitcher Kevin Olson of the Marlins, catcher Todd Pratt, then of the Phillies, Astros Wade Miller, Roger Clemens. Show you the backs on those here in a minute as well. J.M. Gold, Brewers pitcher. Adam Pettyjohn, there's a cool last name. Luke Hudson. One of those subsets I was talking about is Power Chart. Got a Matt Williams one right there. One that I'm actually just about to mail off to this guy is Drew Henson, former Yankees third base prospect. I don't know if he ever made it to the majors or not, but of course, future NFL quarterback as well for the Cowboys and a couple other teams. And this is one of the... What was this one called? I'm trying to remember the name of the parallel set here. The 40-man electric set of Jorge Posada. You see it has that kind of foil finish to it. Kind of glossy on the front and glossy on the back as well. We'll show you the backs. The backs of these ones look exactly the same as the regular set backs. The only difference is that these ones are glossy, the regular set ones are not. So we'll continue on to pack number 2. I was actually reading a little bit about some of the Topps total sets, because Topps, of course, felt the need to compete with Upper Deck on something like this, so they did the 990 card Topps total set in 2002 through 2005. I'm not sure if they did it after 05 or not, but kind of funny thing I was reading on the 05 set was that typically the Topps total checklist that year was a 770 card set, and it ran with veterans from cards 1 to 575, dual player veterans like relievers and utility men from 576 to 690, prospects 691 to 720, first year minor leaguers 721 to 765, and then checklist on 766 to 770. Well, right in the middle of those dual player veterans was a single card on card number 666, was made of Keith Foulke. Of course, Foulke was the closer who was on the mound for the Red Sox when they finally broke the Babe Ruth curse the year before. And I've always thought the Topps has had a little bit, understatement, of a pro-Yankee bias, and putting the pitcher that was on the mound when the curse was finally broken on card 666 in the middle of everything there that doesn't even really fit in with the numbering structure there, I think that kind of confirms it a little bit. So pack 2, we've got Gabe Kapler. I know I've got that one because I remember seeing that one at some point. Steve Collier. Former Indian Dave Malicki, shown here, of course, with the Astros. We had a famous Yankee pitcher in the first pack. Now another one in this pack. This is Mariano Rivera. Spring training photo there, I believe. Speaking of the 04 Red Sox, Doug Mankiewicz, who fielded that last out from Keith Foulke. We've got Kirk Reeder, John Buck, current Cubs broadcaster Ron Coomer, and also Gary Sheffield and Bobby Abreu on the Power Chart and Hitmakers card. Power Chart Sheffield and the Hitmakers Bobby Abreu looks just like that. So it looks like 3 subsets that Upper Deck put into this product. Continue on to pack number 3. Looking back at this, if I were to try to get this set signed, I probably would have done just the very basic base ones. I wouldn't have bothered with any of like the Hitmakers, the Power Chart, the Prospects, anything like that. Kind of, like I said, kind of glad I didn't, though. Kyle Farnsworth, tried TTMing him twice with no luck, got RTS both times. We've got Fernando Vina, solid TTM signer right there. Got him several years ago. Not sure if he still does it or not, but at least he did back then. We have Brewers pitcher Ben Sheets, Mike Remlinger, and we have our first of the jersey cards. This is a looming large jersey card, number 217 out of 250, and that, of course, will be Roger Clemens. Pretty solid one to get right there. I mean, not a big Clemens fan myself for various reasons, but hey, can't go wrong with a potential future Hall of Famer right there. Continuing on, we have the Australian Graham Lloyd, Jason Christensen, Randy Wolf, there we go, and Carlos Valderrama. So there we go. We said 1 jersey card per box on average, it says. The one that I opened before had 2, so got our 1 thus far. Very heavy on the Yankees inserts so far. We got Posada on the electric version, and we got Clemens on the jersey card. Tuck those on into the box there. On pack 4 now, I think? Yeah, pack 4. So we have here James Baldwin, the aforementioned Keith Foulke, back when he was still with the White Sox, before changing socks to red ones. Jeff Weaver. Another guy who at least used to be a solid TTMer for a while, and Mike Sweeney, Royal Slugger. Used to sign 1 per through spring training at least a few years ago. That's how I got him. Not sure if he's still doing it or not. Jose Cueto, after being traded from the Cubs to the Marlins. Randy Velarde. So got ourselves Todd Sears. The still playing Fernando Rodney, or at least he was as of last year. Not sure if he's still around now, but this is funny. On the back, no MLB experience yet, and now he's still closing games out here in the late 2010s, early 2020s. And we get 2 more of these 40 Upper Deck top 40 new releases, what those prospect ones were called. We've got Anastasio Martinez of the Red Sox and Bill Hall of the Brewers, both right there. Down to the bottom half now of column number 1, and at pack number 5. Got ourselves Barry Bonds to start that. Drop that one. Barry Bonds to start things off. So this is right after Bonds' 73 homer year. Kind of funny they put him on card number 754, just 1 short of the Hank Aaron number. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Oh, we've got Scott Stewart of the Expos, Ricky Bottalico of the Phillies, Chris Benson, Pirate, Greg Vaughn, shown with Tampa Bay. He's played with a whole bunch of teams across his career. 24 homers that year. He had had a season close to 60 at one point, just before that, I believe. Got Hector Mercado, Ron Chiavachi, something like that. One of those top 40 new releases with Eric Bedard. Sean Saunier, also a traded one, as he was shown with the Royals, but the card says Cubs. And we get one of those electric ones of Tony Graffanino. Not a whole ton of major TTMers so far just yet in here. I've mentioned a couple of them there, but we'll see if more come across. As I said, I got 13 of these signed at various times before, and I think almost all of them were signed in person, so make of that what you will. Leading off this pack, we have the card of Ichiro. not a TTMer. Jim Thome, Hall of Famer. We've got Jay Cannizzaro. We've got Craig Monroe. Keep the Hall of Famers rolling. We have Pedro Martinez. One that I'm actually about to mail to here is Bill Hasselman. Might have to swap this one in for one of the ones that I've got sitting waiting. Also got Chris Rietsma, Raul Mondesi, Bobby Shea, not sure how he says that one. And, okay, another subset that I forgot about was the Upper Deck Top 40 rotation, and this one is Brad Radke. So we're at 4 different subsets that they had in there. Fortunately, I'm not sure that any of those guys appeared in multiple subsets, so I don't think you have any more than 2, maybe 3 at the most of any individual player in there. So if you're truly a completist trying to work on this set, it makes it a little bit easier, I guess, there, but still pretty tough. Moving on, we have the recently suspended for the 2020 season, Alex Cora. We've got Travis Lee. Jeff Leafer went on to play for the Indians. Wish I'd had this card in 2005 when I was graphing them. Mark Teixeira. Got Orlando Hudson. Hudson, strong TTMer for a while. Haven't seen much out of him lately, though, unfortunately. We have Jermaine Dye. Edwin Almonte. This one I actually have signed. Jake Westbrook got that one done at a probably 2003, I want to say, Indians game. Got the hit makers of Jeff Bagwell, Hall of Famer there, and the top 40 rotation of Brad Penny. And most of the ones I got signed for this were Indians ones, because like I said, I bought this in 2002 when it first came out. And I graphed the Indians a lot in 2005 across the summer there when I was living just over a little bit east of Cleveland. So I used to go to the parking lot there quite a bit before games, after games, and get stuff done. I know that Westbrook one was probably one of the first ones. I think Westbrook and Vizquel were the first 2 that I got signed in there. Those have been back about 2003 or so. Anyways, continuing on, Roberto Hernandez, just got him back a couple weeks ago. Not going to send to him again just yet. We'll wait quite a while before I go sending anything like that out, but cool to get that one back. Or to get this one in, I should say. Carlos Garcia. That's the pitcher, Carlos Garcia, not the shortstop for the Blue Jays and Pirates and a couple other teams. Jeff Jenkins. Another solid last name here in Tim Spooneybarger. Just barely able to fit that one onto the card. We've got Todd Ritchie. We've got J.C. Romero. Dennis Tankersley, not to be confused with Dennis Eckersley. Joe Girardi. Michael Tejera. There we go. And the power chart of Manny Ramirez. I think that brings us to the end of column number 1. So, as the score stands right now, we got 2 of the electric inserts. We also have 1 jersey card. Find where that there's that electric. Okay. Try to keep all the inserts off to one edge there so I can find them easily enough. So let's move on to the middle column right here. Right off the top, pack number 1. 9 overall. All right, we have Derek Lewis, Edwards Guzman, Craig Counsell, Jesus Sanchez, Juan Pena, the guy who was a solid TTMer for a while, Paul Shuey, not sure if he still does it or not, but he's another one that I've gotten before. TJ Matthews, I seem to remember hearing Matthews' name somewhere. Not sure if he's signed or not. Well, actually, I can go ahead and take a quick check on that, even though I've got everything up right now. It's a great thing that I can have sportscollectors.net running in the background or sportscardforum.com and easily look these guys up if I really want to know. So, find out here. And okay, TJ Matthews, he was a signer back around 2018 or so was his last success, so not a current signer at all, it appears, unfortunately. Rounding out the pack here, we have Javier Cardona in the camo jersey. Former Indian, CC Sabathia right there. That's another one that I probably wouldn't have gotten signed if I'd had it during that summer. I did get his regular base card signed. I don't know if I still have it or not. I may have traded it off somewhere. May still have it in there. Not really sure. And last is the Griffey Power Chart. See, a lot of big names in that power chart. There we just had, you know, Manny Ramirez a minute ago. We had Griffey in this last pack. Can't remember if Bagwell was in that one or the Hitmakers earlier. But yeah, lots of guys who are went on to become some of the greats there. A lot of them already were the greats at that point, but that's beside the point. Anyways, see what we have here. Next pack, we have Troy Percival to start things out. Sean Chasson, something like that. Born in Anchorage, Alaska. Did not know that. Jerry Hairston Jr. Got Jeff Nelson. Todd Stottlemyre. He's another one I seem to remember signing for a little bit, but hasn't been doing much of it lately. Carlos Fabulous. Going back to Stottlemyre, his brother was actually on TTM Cast a couple of weeks ago, I believe. Either was recently on or is about to be on. It's one or the other there, but go and check that out. Great interview with Mel Jr. We have Ramon Soler, Rays shortstop. We have Wilmy Caceres, another Rays prospect. Keep it going with the Rays. We have Felix Escalona on the new releases card. And another guy that I'm actually just about to mail off to here very soon in Wes Helms on the electric insert. So another one that I'm going to have to go and probably make a quick swap out and throw that one in. Maybe I'll get a base card instead, too. I just don't have to prep those. I mentioned card prepping a little bit earlier on. I'll probably do an entire video on that whenever I talk about basically start doing my how-to series, which I'm hoping to start maybe shooting a couple of those here this weekend. All right. We have Felix Diaz. We have Scott Hodges. Britt Reams. A couple Expos back-to-back there. I feel like I should have worn the Expos hat now. Instead, I've got the Cleveland National hat today. Marquise Grissom, former Indian. Dave Veers. Eric Young. He was TTMing for a while. Jeff Suppan, I think he was as well. Didn't know this guy played for the Yankees at all, but John Vanderwall as a Yankee. Tend to think of him more with the Expos, the Pirates, a little bit with the Giants, Padres, a couple others. And Andy Van Hecken of the Tigers, and last, the power chart of Chipper Jones. Midway point of middle row here. As we get Danny Graves, another former Indian. One that I have signed over my boxes there, the Omar Vizquel card. We have Juan Cruz. We've got Sammy Sosa. Sunwoo Kim. This one I know that I have an unsigned one of because it was right at the very end of one of my boxes. We have Takahito Nomura. I know I've got that one as well, unsigned too. Kyle Kane. Another guy that I always forget played for the Indians briefly, but Mark Wohlers. Hang on 1 second here. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, okay, that's because it's a checklist. Okay. Sammy Sosa on the checklist card. Missed that I was sitting there going, wait a second, I just pulled a Sammy Sosa card. Did I get doubles in one pack? But no, it's just got him on the checklist card there as well. And the Hitmakers card of Barry Larkin. So, okay, now we're going to start on the bottom half of middle column. Pack number 13 overall. Hopefully lucky 13, but we'll find out. Got former Indian Kenny Lofton. Not a good signer. We've got Donnie Bridges. We've got Miguel Batista. Alan Simpson. John Smoltz, good signer in person. Unfortunately, I've got him on other cards and need him on first before I go for anything like this. Eric Sear. Got Jason Smith. Mentioned earlier we had the suspended Alex Cora. We now also have the suspended A.J. Hinch as well in here. Got the Hitmakers card of Jason Kendall and Eric Munson on top 40 new releases. Munson was one I've always been hoping would be a good TTM signer, and nothing. He was one I actually like coming up as a Tigers catching prospect. I was a catcher myself back when I played Little League, so catchers are always among my favorite ones to try to go for. All right. Start out with Mike Benjamin, native of Euclid, Ohio. Not too far from my hometown. Got John Patterson, native of Orange, Texas. So there you go. Get both the states where I've spent the most time represented right off the bat. Ryan Roop of the Rays. Rangers manager Chris Woodward. I could use that one because he actually signs a bit in person. We've got Matt Morris. We've got another former Indian here in Richie Sexson. Just mentioned I'm about to send off to this guy, so Drew Henson. I've actually got both Henson cards in this box, and I've got both of them waiting to be sent out as well. Another one I'm about to send to, John Halama. Had a chance to get him in person, and he just walked totally by me, totally ignored me. But the good thing is he's a good TTM signer, it appears now, so get those done finally now, about 15 years later. Got a Jose Valverde. And we have the electric insert of Daryl Ward. So I'm going to put this at 4 of the electrics. Come one in every 4 packs, so we should end up with about 6 of those across this entire box. Haven't seen any of the ones that are numbered only to 40 just yet. I know I got one of those in the very first box I opened. We've actually, well, we'll get to that here in a moment here, but all right, going through this pack, Jose Macias, Mike Matheny, another good TTMer right here in Orlando Merced, former Pirates first baseman and outfielder, also with the Astros, as you can see here. We've got Ramiro Mendoza. I think I got Mendoza in person back when he was with the Yankees. Seems like I probably did. Randy Wynn, the late Frank Castillo. We've got Lance Davis. This guy who started TTMing recently, Mark Pryor. Signed last couple years. Didn't send to him, but I'll have to keep an eye on him, see if he's still doing it or not. Got the top 40 rotation of Russ Ortiz. And, as mentioned, we didn't see any of the electric ones that are numbered to only 40, but there we go. Jose Hernandez, former Indian there as well. You can see the rainbow coating on there for the electric rainbow ones. That is numbered, I believe, 27 out of 40, it appears there. Yeah, 27 out of 40. The reason I remember that I got one in the first box I ever cracked was because it was of Woody Williams, and it happened to be numbered to the same as his jersey number as well. So it's like, hey, kind of a cool hit right there. All right. At the very top of this one. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, last pack of the middle column. Got Mark Kotze, Pedro Estacio, Luis Vizcaino, Mark Lukashevich, I think is how it's pronounced, Lukashevich, I believe, Lukashevich, something like that. Yeah, good luck on that one there, guys. We've got Jorge De La Rosa. Another one that I know I have unsigned is Matt Lawton. Got Jace Brewer. One that I just mailed out was Joe Lawrence. Love to have thrown that one in, but oh well. It happens. Got Mike Hampton on top 40 rotation and the checklist of Alex Rodriguez. Several in here that I have seen before, but also quite a few that I definitely have not. And this is also, I like doing this a lot more than like the last one I did. I mean, I love getting those Topps Big Baseball ones that I opened a couple weeks ago. It just got repetitive real quick, whereas with this, you really don't have to worry about a whole lot of repetition in there when you're dealing with 1,200, 1,300, however many cards it is here. I mean, this A-Rod checklist number 4 is number 1174 in the set. So you're dealing, yeah, close to 1,200 cards in there. So you don't really have to worry about a whole lot of duplication and repetition in there. So starting column number 3 here, we have Damon Minor, Javier Vasquez. Yeah, I may have gotten him in person before. Todd Jones. He was signing for a while TTM. I don't know if he still is or not. Aaron Boone, I have gotten this one signed in person. Indians third baseman there in, what, 04, 05, 05, 06, something like that. Got Todd Hundley. Brandon Lyon. Alex Gramman. Got Ishmael Valdez. And a couple of those top 40 rotation cards. We have Matt Morris and Roger Clemens. Very Clemens-filled box so far. I think it's the 3rd different card that we've seen of Clemens with the jersey card, his base card, now this top 40 rotation. Not too surprised, though. I mean, he was the top pitcher in baseball at that point, so they're going to hit him hard. They're going to hit him hard. All right. Next pack. Let's go with this one right off the back first, as it's the electric insert of Mike DeFelice. That one in up here. We've also got Tony Batista, David Kelton. We have Aaron Rowand, Cliff Pollitt, former Indian Damian Jackson, got Lenny Harris, brother of a former Indian in Marcus Giles, Brian, of course, the outfielder. We have John Lackey, listed as wearing jersey number 87, so when he was still a prospect. Native of Abilene, Texas, which is misspelled on the back of the card as well. Show you that. Abeline. Nope, got to switch those guys. And we've got Wade Miller on the top 40 rotation. We're up to 30 minutes on this. Wow. All right. Good TTM signer here, at least, again, was for a while. Not sure if he still is, but Dave Roberts. Got Adrian Brown, Eli Marrero, Henry Blanco, a couple catchers back-to-back there, Chip Ambrose, Tyler Walker. Got Jeff Farnsworth. Is he related to Kyle? Not really sure. We've got Juan Pena, got Cliff Floyd, and Bernie Williams. I got 5 packs to go on here. As I said, still only at the 1 jersey card. It says 1 per box on average. I had one that had 2 in it once. Maybe this is how it averages out. So, we'll continue on through here. We've got Nate Freese, Steve Smith, Steve Smythe, SMYTH, something like that. A pre-Red Sox David Ortiz. Dean Palmer. Not much of a TTMer, but he's done a few in-person appearances here in Arlington. Former Ranger, of course. Bruce Chen went on to eventually play for the Indians. Gotten him in person, too. Got Chance Capel. Aaron Cook. John Thompson. And on the subsets, we have Alex Gramman and Nomar Garciaparra. On those ones, respectively. Now we saw Gramman's base card a little bit earlier. Bottom half. Let's see what we got here. We've got Jose Guillen. Moises Alou. Recently joined the Cubs at that point. We've got David Coggin. Alan Embry. Another former Indian in there. BJ Surhoff, solid TTMer for a bit. Well, there we go, a little bit of help. Nick Green, I'm actually just about to mail to him, so swap that one in for something else. We've got Paul Abbott. I think Paul Abbott pitched for the Indians briefly. I know it was one of the Abbotts, and I think it was Paul rather than Kyle. Bobby Higginson, he's one that I wish TTM'd. I would love to get him. He's one of my favorites when I was a kid. We've got Luis Pineda, and another Indian here in Matt Lawton on the Hitmakers card. My goal is to keep this under 40 minutes. I'm going on 34 right now, so I should hopefully make it. All right, we'll go to the insert right off the back here. This is going to be Raul Casanova on the Electric. And back to some base here. We have Luis Alicea, Gary Knotts, Yorvit Torrealba. Another guy that I wish TTM but doesn't is Nick Johnson. We've got Luis Garcia, got Eric Good. Not sure if he ever made it to the majors. Not sure if he lived up to the name there or not. Anyways, we've got Mitch Wiley. Got the Nomar Garciaparra checklist. Ah, there we go, checklist 6. There we go. Card number 1176, so maybe close to 1180 then, in terms of the total number of cards in the set. And Power Chart Sean Green. 2 packs to go. Not seeing any thicker cards in here, so it doesn't appear to be a jersey in this one either, but go through with J.D. Drew. Got Alex Sanchez. Not sure. I think that may have been the same guy that was the first to get popped for a PED suspension in Major League Baseball. I can't remember if that's the same guy or not, but I think it might have been. Got Sean Estes. We have Eric Bedard, Ontario native. Got Dave Hansen, pinch hitter extraordinaire. Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. Got Darren Holmes. He signs, I think it's $5 per, though. Got Danny Klassen, another Ontario native. So, wow, we've got 2 Canadians in one pack. And the top 40 new releases, we have Morgan Ensberg and Ramon Vasquez. Neither one particularly good signers, though, as far as I can remember. All right. Last pack. One more chance to see if we can get any kind of numbered inserts. We can get a jersey card, anything like that. Doesn't look like we've got it. Well, okay, we do have the McGuire insert at least in here. Okay, hopefully that previous one saved. I just accidentally closed everything there and stopped. So we'll do this last pack here. Once again, we were mentioning that we had Mark McGuire here as the... I got the Mark McGuire flashbacks card that shows his... I'll go the other way. First career home run on it, hitting off of Walt Terrell. And moving through the rest of this pack, doesn't look like, yeah, no jersey cards, no autographs. So just one jersey card in this box. But like I said, that was the average, and I got 2 in my first ever one, so can't really complain too much. But we've got Shannon Stewart. We've got Terrence Long. We've got Rich Garces, El Guapo. Ryan Drees. Actually gotten him, I believe, with a Rangers alumni event in person. Mike Mordecai. Got Kent Merker. Bobby Kelty. David Espinoza. And Garrett Anderson. A friend of mine used to actually see Espinoza play in the independent leagues there for a bit. Said he's a good signer in person, at least, so who knows? Maybe I'll try TTM. I know I've got a couple other cards of him out there. So, once again, there we go. We've got the Upper Deck 40-man box from 2002. Breaking that open. Got a jersey card. Got a numbered card. Got some stuff I can mail out TTM as well. So, once again, go and check out sportscardforum.com for any info that you want on TTMing. Try to make some trades out there if you want. Anything hobby related, you're probably going to find it there. We'll see you later.